Good evening, everyone. I hope you've had a really good day today. It's a bit of a storm here on the coast, so hopefully you're safe where you are. And thanks for joining tonight's CAFS Professional Learning. So today we're going to chat about some common mistakes I still see some CAFS teachers make when it comes to exam preparation. Now, we always have those, those moments, I suppose, that define us and think, okay, maybe we should have done that a little bit of a different way. So tonight we're going to share with you what you can possibly do to really be more strategic when it comes to exam preparation and what you can do either before an assessment task, before year 11 exams. We have one shot with those guys. And then obviously before the trials and then the HSC. One common thing I see time and time again is that we're still focusing on learning the syllabus off by heart. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but the kids kind of, with that type of thing, with recall, like I said the other night, it goes in one ear and out the other. What we need to be trying to do is getting the kids to apply it in a number of different circumstances, a number of different situations that they can actually apply their content to, because we can't just expect the kids to learn it by regurgitating information or retaining it. We know that many of our kids have very limited capacity, and even us as adults have a very limited capacity to retain a whole heap of information, especially when there's lots of different higher order thinking happening and lots of different content that they need to kind of pull from. So what we should be doing when we're doing exam preparation is really breaking it down and providing the kids with scaffolds, clear strategies to help them move forward and prepare for that examination. So really getting back to basics when it comes to exams, rather than focusing on just learning the syllabus. That learn about learn to, it's all well and good to kind of know it and to recall it, but the kids really need to know how to apply it. And if you joined me the other night on Tuesday on my webinar, I chatted about this, that this is still a common issue I see across New South Wales, that the kids aren't able to apply their understanding of content because they're so used to that regurgitation. They're so used to that quick recall that we often work on, especially during exam time, when really we should be working on that deeper understanding of content, but also multiple applications across the course. Again, what that can look like is getting the kids to work on a number of different situations or scenarios to then apply their understanding to that. So I'd love to hear from you guys about what has worked come exam time, come assessment time, and maybe what's been a bit of a flop and you're like, okay, I've learned from that and I've learned that I need to really kind of be a bit more strategic with it. The other common mistake I see a lot of CAFS teachers still making is doing exam prep questions from past HSCs. Now, what I mean by that is going into, say, last year's HSC, 2022's HSC, and getting the kids to do those questions. 2021, getting the kids to do those. 2020, getting the kids to do those. Doing all these past exams when really the kids would never be examined on those questions ever again. And I know, like I was a culprit of that. I would give my kids so many exam prep questions, so many past HSC questions, because I thought that that was the pathway to success for my kids. Prepare them for what's already been there and then help them through that. What that does is if we keep focusing on those exam prep questions, those old exams, it doesn't enable our kids to apply their understanding in a number of different circumstances, to be able to tweak their understanding, to be able to then, get a question and go, okay, well, I know this content up here, but how does it link back to that particular concept? And if you've done any work on understanding by design, I absolutely love the work by those researchers, McTeague and someone give it to me. So I've got off the top of my head, but understanding by design is brilliant because it talks about that, preparing our kids for unseen questions, preparing our kids for things that we're kind of not focusing on. So really getting the kids to think about some new exam questions, some brand new ones that they can kind of use their current understanding of content to then apply it to a new question, and obviously examination under those kind of conditions. The other thing I'd love to share with you guys tonight is a common mistake I see around not preparing for the conditions in which the kids are working on their assessments or working for their exams. So I see lots of really creative tasks out there, and I'm going to put my hand up really high and say that I was like that. I always sort of really different, new, really creative tasks for my kids to kind of do for assessment tasks. And that was all well and good from variety and differentiation. But what it often did was not really prepare my kids for the end game. So I had a creative task like some sort of presentation or some sort of activity, and then it didn't enable my kids to really prepare for the HSC or prepare for their assessments or their examinations. So variety is great. That's all well and good to have that, but I really think we need to be preparing our kids for that end game. It has to be under some sort of or maybe under some sort of like exam conditions, or some sort of unseen questions, and possibly getting the kids to apply their understanding to those learn tos rather than just the learnabouts. So things like movies, things like case studies, things like film studies, things like presentations to the class, a pamphlet, they're not skills that we're preparing our kids for in an assessment task. If we get them to do a presentation, that's working on their presentation skills. It's not working on their ability to actually unpack a question or to provide some sort of understanding around their content. And those skills, that transfer of skills needs to really happen with those assessments and with our examinations. So I'd love to hear from you guys about what you're currently working on with assessments. I know it's a bit of a big one. Often I get my CAFS collective members kind of writing in saying, hey, does anyone have an assessment task? Because I think it's something that we really struggle with, because we forget about the skills that the kids are working on throughout preparing for assessment tasks. We're focusing on the content, but we're not actually preparing the kids with the skills they need to apply that understanding. And of course, all roads are leading to that HSC. All roads are leading to the end game, which is the grand final, the HSC exam. So preparing our kids with smaller bite-sized bits, assessment tasks, formative tasks, to really get them to apply the understanding with unseen questions, application-based, higher order thinking definitely needs to happen. So as you know, doors are open to Strive, and Strive is my signature course to help teachers improve student writing to increase HSC results and to really get back to basics with the foundational skills that our kids need in community and family studies. So I love the content. The content will always be there. And what I've really been advocating over the last couple of years is that we need to go back to basics. We need to go back and strip it right back and get back to that content, that application of content, rather than just that regurgitation. So if you're looking for some sort of templates, strategies, scaffolds, exam prep questions, new exam questions that haven't been assessed by NESA before, if you would like to see some exemplars for Year 11, I know that is definitely missing across the state, some exemplars for Year 11 and coded responses with that, but also lots of things that you can use with your kids literally in the classroom straight away. The Strive is open and it closes next Wednesday at midnight. So if you're like, Kell, this is going to save me so much time, so much angst, so much anxiety around getting the kids to write, please reach out, send me a DM and let's chat about whether Strive is right for you. Strive is good for teachers who are time poor, great for teachers who have never taught CAFS before, great for teachers who are like, we get our HSC results every year and I sometimes just feel disappointed by it. So you can head over to learnnet.com/Strive to check it out. And if you have any questions about the program or about what's included, please don't hesitate to send me a message. I will also be going live next Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday to show you inside the course itself, to show you all the goodies and all the templates that you get access to. But in the meantime, please don't hesitate to reach out, ask a question, and I'll see you guys really soon. Have a great night. Take care.